Those who had arrested Jesus took him to Caiaphas, the high priest, where the teachers of the law and the elders had assembled. But Peter followed him at a distance, right up to the courtyard of the high priest. He entered and stood with the guards to see the outcome. The chief priests and the whole Sanhedrin were looking for false evidence against Jesus so that they could put him to death, but they did not find any. Finally, 2 false witnesses came forward.
This fellow said, "I am able to destroy the temple of God and rebuild it in 3 days."
The high priest stood up and said to Jesus,
"Are you not going to answer? What is this testimony that these people are bringing against you? I charge you under oath by the living God. Tell us if you are the Christ, the Son of God."
Yes, it is as you say. But I say to all of you, in the future you will see the Son of Man sitting at the right hand of the Mighty One and coming on the clouds of heaven.
Blasphemy! Why do we need any more witnesses? Look, now you have heard the blasphemy.
I told them I didn't know what they were talking about. I don't even know the man. Jesus said before the cock crows, I would deny him 3 times.
He is worthy of death.
Then they spit in his face and struck him with their fists. Others slapped him and said,
Prophesy to us, Christ. Who hit you?
Early in the morning, all the chief priests and the elders of the people came to the decision to put Jesus to death. They bound him, led him away, and handed him over to Pilate the governor.
I just don't know what to do. I have betrayed my Lord Jesus, and now he has been condemned to die. I've changed my mind, and I regret deeply what I have done. I have sinned. I have betrayed an innocent man.
So Judas threw the money into the temple and left. Then he went away and hanged himself.
What shall I do then with Jesus, who is called Christ?
Crucify him.
Crucify him. Why? What crime has he committed?
Crucify him. Crucify him.
When Pilate saw that he was getting nowhere, but that instead an uproar was starting, he took water and washed his hands in front of the crowd.
I am innocent of this man's blood. It's your responsibility.
Then he released Barabbas to them, but he had Jesus flogged and handed him over to be crucified. Then the governor's soldiers took Jesus into the praetorium and gathered the whole company of soldiers around him. They stripped him and put a scarlet robe on him. They put a staff in his right hand and knelt in front of him and mocked him. They spit on him and took the staff and struck him on the head again and again. After they had mocked him, they took off the robe and put his own clothes on him. Then they led him away to crucify him.
Peter, Andrew, where were you? John, James, how could you let this happen? But no, it isn't your fault. It is Pilate. He is to blame. No, not just Pilate. All of you. All of you who stood in the courtyard are to blame. When Pilate washed his hands of responsibility, didn't you wash your hands of it too? Didn't you tell yourself, I can't do anything? This isn't my fault. This is not my doing. And then you stood and watched the whip tear apart my son's back. The whole crowd of you just watched and did nothing but moan and wail. Did you think your cries would remove my son's pain? When the soldiers pushed that crown of thorns on his head and the blood ran down into his eyes, did you turn away so you wouldn't have to suffer his humiliation, his pain? Did he not feel it because you did not?
As they were going out, they met a man from Cyrene named Simon, and they forced him to carry the cross. They came to a place called Golgotha, which means the place of the skull. There they offered Jesus wine to drink mixed with gall. But after tasting it, he refused to drink it. When they had crucified him, they divided up his clothes by casting lots. Above his head, they placed the written charge against him. This is Jesus, the King of the Jews.
Why didn't you fight for him? Why didn't you rescue him? I don't understand how this happened. He has committed no crime. He is an innocent man, and they are executing him. He dies for nothing, and you, all of you, remain silent. Why? You didn't even carry his cross. It was so heavy, he staggered. Did you see him stumble and fall? A stranger carried it for him. Where were you? He carried all of your burdens often enough. Why couldn't you carry his just this once? You said, John, you said you loved him. You said you'd do anything for him. Peter, where were you when they drove nails into my son's hands? My God, I cannot bear this pain.
Two other men, both criminals, were also led out with him to be executed, one on his right, the other on his left. Jesus said,
Father, forgive them, for they do not know what they are doing.
Forgive them. Forgive us all.
The soldiers also came up and mocked him.
If you are the King of the Jews, save yourself.
One of the criminals who hung there hurled insults at him.
And us.
But the other criminal rebuked him.
Don't you fear God, since you are under the same sentence? We are punished justly, for we are getting what our deeds deserve. But this man has done nothing wrong. Jesus, remember me when you come to your kingdom.
I tell you the truth. Today you will be with me in paradise.
You calmed the storm that could have drowned all of you in the Sea of Galilee. You turned from the very edge of a cliff in Nazareth and walked right through a murderous mob. You could save yourself now, but I know you will not. I just don't know why.
Near the cross of Jesus stood his mother's sister, Mary, the wife of Clopas, and Mary Magdalene. When Jesus saw his mother there and the disciple whom he loved standing nearby, he said to his mother,
Dear woman, here is your son. Here is your mother.
From that time on, this disciple took her into his home.
Oh, John, hold me. Take away this terrible pain.
At the 6th hour, darkness came over the whole land until the 9th hour. And at the 9th hour, Jesus cried out in a loud voice,
my God, why have you forsaken me?
My God, why have you forsaken us all?
I am thirsty.
If only I could hold fresh, cool water to your lips, my beloved Son, but I can do nothing, nothing.
The sun stopped shining, and the curtain of the temple was torn in two. Jesus called out with a loud voice,
Father, into your hands I commit my spirit.
Yes, my God, release him from this torture. I beg you.
It is finished.
It is finished.
Were you there when they crucified my Lord? Were you there when they crucified my Lord? Sometimes it causes me to tremble, tremble, tremble. Were you there when they crucified my Lord? Were you there when they nailed him to the tree? Were you there when they nailed him to the tree? Oh, sometimes it causes me to tremble, tremble, tremble. Were you there when they nailed him to the tree? Were you there when they laid him in the tomb? Were you there when they laid him in the tomb? Oh, sometimes it causes me to tremble, tremble, tremble. Were you there when they laid him in the tomb?
Go in peace.